Welcome back to JW World News, and boy, do we have some exciting news for you today. Japan. So Japan, we ran a little news thing. Japan was looking into child abuse, and lawyers and everyone was looking into the second generation in Japan. So here's what's happening in Japan now. The Jehovah's Witnesses, Japan, they've looked at all the religions in Japan and they named 3 religions as cults. And guess what? Jehovah's Witnesses are one of them, along with the Unification Church. So we're going to look into this a little further and see exactly what's going on in Japan. So we're going to switch over to another screen here. And I'll see if I can get the fuzziness out a little bit. Not really, eh? There, that helped. Just had to move a light a little bit. Okay, so 8 groups of second generation religious groups, including Jehovah's Witnesses and the Unification Church, gathered to seek support and understanding for mental issues. So what they're realizing all over the world, and we've ran a lot of videos on the CSA victims and how this just destroys their lives. This cult and how it protects pedophiles. So here's Japan looking into this cult and looking at how destructive it is. Now, Japan's looking at all the religions, but it's only naming a couple here in this article, but there's 3 actually. But they put Jehovah's Witnesses in with the Unification Church in Japan. They do not like the Jehovah's Witness organization in Japan. So here's what I'm reading. They've set up now 8 groups of second generation religious groups, including Jehovah's Witness, Unification Church, gather to seek support and understanding for mental issues. So they're doing a symposium. They titled it How to Address Religion and Cult Second Generation Issues. And it was held on August 26th at I'm going to get some of these names wrong, but it's Shinagawa campus of Risho University in Tokyo, and 8 groups, including Jehovah's Witnesses and second generation members of the Family Federation for World Peace and Unification, gathered to discuss the current situation and future challenges of supporting second generation religious groups. Now, if you're Japanese, I'm going to list this article here, and if you speak Japanese, there's a link right here. And you can click on it, and there's a video. It's a 1-hour video, and it shows some of the studies. And I was watching some of it, just putting the captions on. And the young person's coming up. He was raised in a foster home, and he left at 17, and he's giving his story. So, sponsored by the Japan Breakaway Association, who representative director is Kimakai Nishida, a professor at the same university. And since its founding in 1995, the association has long been tackling the second generation problem. And the professor said since the shooting incident of the former Prime Minister Abe occurred last year, so that's where they had this shooting incident in Japan, their Prime Minister got shot, there has been an increase in the number of organizations concerned with the incident. And they're sending out their own message by gathering in one place, and I would like to share the recognition of the supporting of each organization. So, of course, Jehovah's Witnesses detest the governments. They call the governments satanic. And so here in Japan, the Prime Minister got shot. So when you have a religious organization calling the governments satanic, you have a concern. Because now you're teaching all your people to detest the governments, not follow the governments. And this is what cults do. Even though the Bible says in Romans 13:1 to be obedient to superior authorities when they do good. When they do bad, of course, we have to use some discretion. But governing authorities, when they're doing good. And I would say when they're exposing CSA and bringing out in the limelight really how destructive these cults are regarding shunning and CSA, this all has to be brought out. And all over the world, this is happening. So here in Japan, they have a symposium. And there's an increased number of consultations via the internet. They've received about 200 consultations between March and August currently. And so this is an ongoing thing. It says a total of 375 people have participated in the 51st Religious Second Generation Association, which began in 2020. So this isn't that old, folks. And that was before the shooting. So yeah, this is happening. So he's saying, I want schools and governments to be more actively involved. In addition, there were presentations from groups that support job hunting after leaving the club, and groups that regularly hold off the line meetings for meals and trips. And a panel discussion by the representatives of 8 organizations showed that the actual situation of relying on volunteers for the consultation system. So this is going on. They're going to be researching Jehovah's Witnesses in Japan, a symposium, second generation. We'll just take a look at this. Here it is. Here they are, and these are groups of religious groups, including Jehovah's Witnesses and the Unification Church. And these are all the second generation children. And so they're speaking out about the cult, and the governments are listening. So stay tuned, folks, and we'll keep you posted on what happens next. So there's what's happening in Japan. So that brings an end to our world news on this part. And so until next time, keep living your life with love. Bye for now.